All right, welcome to the Decluttering Your Life workshop. My name is Antoinette. I'm a certified life coach and I help women and some men, I do have some men clients as well, to live their best life and also to help achieve their goals and to help them get better at their relationships and help them run their businesses better and to lose weight and etc., etc., etc. Okay, so just before we get started, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So firstly, we on Zoom, and Zoom and I have had a couple of disagreements in the last few days. So um, I'm fighting with Zoom to say that it is a little bit more complicated than Zoom would like us to believe, but we'll be working with what we've got at the moment. Okay, so you can all turn your videos off if they're on. I can't see anybody, so that seems to be fine. And then also there's a chat option right down below in the bar. And you can chat to me, but I would prefer it if you waited until after the presentation, and then we can chat and I'll answer any questions that you may have about the presentation or any other coaching questions you may have. Okay, and then also the sessions will be recorded. So I find that often you have a big aha moment, but that you are kind of stuck on that moment, and there are more moments that come along, but you don't really notice them because you're focusing on this aha moment that you had. So this is a nice place to go back to the recording and see what other things you've missed. Also, if you missed the session, like some of you, I'm assuming, will do today, you can re-watch the recording. And but having said that, um, you're on the call, so please make a commitment to yourself and that you're going to be showing up, that you're going to take notes, you're going to do the homework, and you're also going to ask questions, whatever you need, because I'm actually here to support you. Okay, so now the reason I did this workshop is that we are all such really busy people. Our lives are so complicated, and there's so much stuff happening in our lives that our lives become a mess. Our minds are a mess. There's so much stuff going on in our heads. We are bombarded with information. Um, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. So this is kind of a workshop just to reset you and to sort of clean the slate so that we can figure out why it is that you've got clutter in your life, because this is ultimately why you're here, because you have a problem with clutter in some area of your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be all areas of your life, but at least some areas of your life. Okay, and I also want to show you how to organize your life so that you can actually create the things you do want, not worry about the past things and what's happened in the past. Okay, so how the workshop is going to work is it's a 5-week course, and we're meeting every Tuesday from now on for the next 5 weeks at 7 o'clock. And the sessions are going to be 30 to 45 minutes each, depending on the amount of questions you ask and so on. I'll be teaching for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay. So the first 2 weeks, we are going to do mindset work. Okay. So that basically means that we're going to figure out why you're creating the mess that you are. What's happening in your life? And then also, you often find that you do have mess, and then you think, oh no, this is terrible. And then you clean up everything. And then before you know it, 6 months later, it just looks like a bomb's hit it again. So now I'm going to show you why that is and how to clean up your mind so that you can actually move ahead, so that you can actually become the person who is organized. Okay. And then after those 2 first weeks where we do the mindset work, which is actually the basis of everything we're going to do, we're going to start decluttering your life and the rest of your environment. Okay. So let's start on the slideshow. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm trying. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Then I'm supposed to start the screen, play from the start. Okay. Sorry, I'm technologically challenged. I'm sure you can all bear with me here. Okay, so welcome again to Decluttering Your Mind and Your Life. Okay, so in this workshop, we are going to unclutter your mind first. And what that looks like is we're going to figure out what's going on in your head. We're going to figure out what's real and what isn't, what you're thinking about, what feelings come up for you, what do you do in your day-to-day life that causes all the clutter in your life, and where you are right now, okay? And then we are going to look at your environment. So we're going to put your house in order. We're going to get your car sorted out. We're going to get your desk cleaned out. We're going to organize your kitchen. We're going to give your closet some shape. Your storage area is going to rock if it's still going to exist after this. And we're going to get you out from all the paper. Okay, so this is a lot. Please don't feel overwhelmed. This is not, you're not going to have to do all this stuff in 3 weeks. I'm going to show you what to do. And say, for instance, your kitchen is your problem area. So you're going to choose one area in your kitchen. You're going to pick a drawer, you're going to pick a cupboard, and that's what you're going to do for that week or that session, basically. So remember, you're not just going to do the unclutter workshop or the declutter workshop. You're going to carry on doing it after we're done. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's start. Okay. So your brain is constantly on the go, like I said before. You're always thinking, and it seems that we have between 6,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. So imagine actually trying to keep track of that. It's virtually impossible. Okay. So you've got unconscious thoughts and you've got conscious thoughts. Now, your unconscious thoughts, well, and both can serve you or they don't serve you. So conscious thoughts are, I mean, unconscious thoughts that serve you would be, think about driving a car. So you've been driving for, say, 10 years. You are so used to driving. You know exactly what to do. You don't even have to think about it. You turn on the ignition, you put your car into gear, and off you go. Now, that's an unconscious thought because your brain is actually managing your mind for you. Okay. So, and it serves you because it gets you from A to B. All right. Now, conscious thoughts that serve you are thoughts like, say now you're starting to learn how to drive. Okay. So now you've got to think about it. You close the car door, you put your foot on the brake, you put your foot on the clutch, you put your hand on the gear lever, and then you put it into first. You know what I'm saying. So you pay attention to every single little step you take. So that's like a conscious thought that serves you. Okay. So the ones that we worry about are the repetitive ones that you think all the time that you need to manage. Now imagine them as if they're things that are stuffed in the back of a closet. They're right at the back. You don't know what they are. You don't know what's there. So you have to kind of take them out and look at them and dust them off and figure out, is this kind of a thought that you still want to think? For example, a lot of times what happens is, say, for instance, you have a thought, I'm not organized. Now, that may be an unconscious thought, which comes out in your everyday life because now your car's a mess and your thoughts are scattered and you don't have a clear idea of where you're going. That kind of could be an unconscious thought and it doesn't actually serve you. Okay. And they create unwanted feelings. So you need to take them out of the closet, clean them off, and decide if you're actually going to be using them or not. Okay. So other conscious thoughts that you have are things that you think on purpose. So for instance, one of my conscious thoughts was, I'm not an entrepreneur. So does that thought serve me? Not really, because I am running my own business now. So it's a thought that doesn't serve me. Okay, so they could be good thoughts that are useful, Or they could be judgmental thoughts, or they could more be indulgent, like, I'm not good at X, Y, and Z. I'm not good at running, for instance, but you don't run, or you haven't, or learning a new language, say learning a new language. You're not good at learning a new language, but the point is you've never really tried to learn a new language. Okay. So these are all stories we tell ourselves. So we say we're not organized and it pops up in our life. We say we're not good with money and it pops up in our lives. So these are all the stories that we tell ourselves. In order to change them, you have to change your identity. So otherwise, you're going to be uncluttering your life, and it's going to be great for a few weeks or months or whatever. And then before you know it, you're back to square one. So you have to change your identity. You have to start practicing saying, I am an organized person. And you've got to start practicing it and actually doing the things that will make you be an organized person. Okay. So, three of the questions that you've got to ask about your thoughts is this thought serving me? And do I want to keep it? And does this thought belong in my future? Okay, so when you think about thinking, you are more conscious, and can make deliberate choices about what you are thinking. So, this is the best way you can manage your mind, okay? Because we are going to be doing this in the 5-week course. We're going to become aware of the thoughts that we're thinking. And then you're going to make a decision based on the 3 questions, which is this thought serving me? Do I want to keep it? Does this thought belong in my future? Learn how to say goodbye to what we don't want. And I think a lot of you are going to be battling with this particular one. And then we are going to create what we do want. Okay. So now we're going to look at kind of what's in your head. So I have a process of managing my mind and my life. And there's a process to it. So, and the way you do this, the way I do this, is I look at my thoughts all the time. I watch what I'm thinking. Okay. So, and it's not easy and it takes a lot of practice. So, because we also caught up in our heads and we actually think our thoughts. We don't step outside ourselves and look what we're thinking. And you can't manage a mess when you're actually in it. And you'll see in the whole process, it's exactly like this. You need to step out of it and have a look at what's going on and then make some decisions. Okay, so let's try it. What thought are you thinking right now? I'll give you a minute just to write down what you are thinking. So answer that one. Okay, so notice that you had to stop and change your perspective. Okay, so this is a very important step in order to be successful in this workshop, to actually benefit from this work. Okay, so you're going to be doing what we call a thought download. So this is basically you take a piece of paper and a pen and you just watch what you're thinking and you write it down. So this is not like journaling, because journaling, you've got a lot of emotions and things going on. So you're actually thinking your thoughts. But when you do a thought download, you're taking a step back and you're just taking those sentences out of your mind and you're actually putting them down on paper. Okay. So when you observe your thoughts, you're objectifying your thoughts. So it's as if they're popping up on a screen and you're just grabbing them and writing them down. Okay, so now we're going to talk about those sentences that are in your mind, because you you've got facts and then you've got the story. Okay. So facts are just things that everybody can agree upon. Okay. So it makes things really simple and straightforward. So facts don't contain any adjectives or adverbs. There's no drama. There's no emotion present. Nothing like that. So examples of facts are the lights are on. I weigh 60 kilograms. Her dress is red, although maybe my autistic son wouldn't agree and say it's crimson. But for this case, let's say that her dress is red. I have a son. He said words to me. I am a woman. Paris is in France. Okay, so those are all facts. You notice there's no emotions, there are no adverbs, there are no adjectives. Now you come to me and you say, my house is a mess. That is not a fact because mess conjures up emotion. Okay. So if you rather say there are 12 pairs of shoes lying on the floor, that's a fact. Okay. You can say, I am fat. And you may find people that agree with you that you are fat. But the fact would be, I weigh 100 kilograms. Okay. So there are people that weigh 100 kilograms that aren't fat. So that is a fact. There's no emotion, but there's emotion to the word fat. Okay. He is cheating. Now, cheating is a very emotional word, but that isn't a fact. Okay. So you would say he sent a kiss text to this girl, and that is a fact. Okay. All right. So those are the differences between the facts and the emotional sentences or the stories you tell yourself. Okay. So if you apply facts to like a messy story, it'll actually you'll consolidate your story into a few words, basically, a few sentences. Okay. And there's no emotion attached to it. Okay. Um so this month we're going to okay, so we've already gone to what you were thinking. Okay, so this month we are going to do our thought downloads. So I want you to imagine your thoughts about your clutter. What's going on with you? Where's your clutter? What's going on? What are you thinking? I want you to write them all down. Just take 10 minutes every day, or I mean, you can actually apply this to any part of your life. But excuse me, it's an interesting part just to figure out where you are with your clutter and what's actually going on. Okay. And then you pull out the facts. For example, like I said, if you said your house is a mess, then you go, okay, no, I have got clothes lying on the chair. That would be a fact. Okay. All right. And that is the end of the presentation. Okay. Go there. Okay, so I will be opening the chat. So if anybody's got any questions to ask me about what I just spoken about declutter or what's going on, let me know. Okay, so I have had somebody write into me. Okay, Garth, you say you've got loads. Please give them to me. Okay, so Lena said that she's got a blanket that belongs to her grandma. And this blanket reminds her of her grandma, and she doesn't want to get rid of it. Yet it doesn't actually fit into her house at all. So, Lena, you just jumped the gun a little bit, but I'll answer you the question. So the blanket isn't your grandma. Okay. So you have got your feelings and your thoughts and your memories about your grandma are actually up here and in your heart. Your the blanket is not there to to remind you of your grandma at all. And if it is a problem, then take a picture of the blanket and keep it. And that's how you can keep a memory alive of your of your grandma. But I'm sure that you have better memories of your grandma than just being in a blanket. Okay. Um, okay. Um, Boosie says, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this program because I never get anything done. Okay, well, Busi, this is the perfect place for you to be because I'm going to show you how to get things done. Because what happens is when your life is cluttered and your mind is cluttered, you don't have time for yourself. So if you unclutter your life and your brain, I'm going to show you how much more me time you are going to have. Okay. And then also, your health is going to be better because you're going to be planning your exercising, you're going to be planning your meals, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to get better. And then the last thing that's going to get, well, another thing that's going to get better are your finances because now you're going to have, because everything's uncluttered, you know where um, you know what bills need to be paid, you know when they need to be paid, because what often happens is that you're such a mess and you've got so many bills and you don't know when anything's due, and then you pay things late and you get interest and um, you miss payments and um, it actually in the long run costs you more because your life is so full of so full of clutter. Okay. Um, All right. So I would like to know what was your thought? So anybody, when I asked you what thoughts you were thinking about your clutter? I mean, my one is mostly, I don't have time. But then I do remind myself that when I don't put away my things, or if I say I don't have time to put away my things, and I always go, well, then later it's going to come up, and I'm going to have to spend more time doing it to put my things away. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we're on the half hour, and I don't see any more questions. Okay. Oh, okay. So the question was, earlier I asked you, what was your thought about um, the clutter that you've got in your life. So what are your thoughts about it? So where do you have clutter in your life and why do you think that is? Okay, so while we're waiting for that, um, also just wanted to tell you that, oh, there we go. How do I prioritize my clutter? Okay, well, this is what this course is all about. So I'm basically going to show you step one, step two, step three, the questions you need to ask and how to get rid of your clutter. And there's a whole bunch of emotional stuff that's going to come up. So, like I said, this week we did the mindset work as we'll do next week as well. So we'll figure out the why you're doing your why you're cluttering up and what's going on with you. And then after that, we're going to be doing a step-by-step process to declutter your environment. Okay, so there's a very specific way we're going to be doing all of that. So it's going to be very easy. And if you just follow the steps, I promise you, it's easy peasy. The the hardest thing for any of you, it's not the actual clutter and sorting it out. It's actually going to be the mind drama you're going to have about letting things go. Because a lot of times there's, we feel like we are perfectionists. So we want to have all these perfect systems in place. But we can't, we don't want to put because we don't want to put the perfect systems in place because we feel overwhelmed. Because if you don't have the perfect system, then we just don't do anything at all. So then the clutter just heaps up and up and up and up. So, and then also, I found, I mean, especially with women, is that we see something perfect. We see something on Instagram and we see this beautiful woman and she says she uses this foundation. And that woman says, and she's got beautiful eyes and she uses this eye makeup. And off we go and buy this makeup and foundation and this eye makeup and these eyelashes and all these kind of things because we want to try and emulate what they are doing. And in the end, we have all this stuff and we just never use it. I mean, I've got face powder and I don't use face powder, but I see somebody else use it or I watch um, a makeup session and they're using powder, I go out and buy powder, but I never ever use it. So to me, that's clutter because I don't use it. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what your reactions are going to be about getting rid of things. So, yeah, your question, we're going to prioritize all the stuff, all the things we're going to do. All right. Okay. So we'll end off. Just to let you know, I do have some one-on-one life coaching sessions open. So if you guys are interested, please email me. You've all got my email address, hello@livelifeinspired.co.za. So email me and let's organize you with a free consultation and we'll go from there. And I will see you at 7 o'clock next Tuesday. Thank you guys for coming. Bye.